Hello and welcome to a special Baggies View. I'm Paul Bradley and I'm joined on the phone by West Bromwich Albion correspondent Chris Lebkowski. Hi Chris.
Hi.
Well, obviously we're going to be talking about Roy Hodgson and his appointment today. Has this appointment come as a surprise?
Well, on the one hand, Albion made it very clear that they were looking for somebody of experience. Now, if you could have put all the experienced coaches into a bracket, then Roy certainly would have been in there. What was interesting, I was told that Albion's initial feeling towards Roy Hodgson was a little bit lukewarm. They were keen to do their due diligence on all the candidates really, and Roy Hodgson was interviewed last night. They spent all day with him by all accounts actually sort of discussing what the role would be, how things would go on from here. All the sort of logistics of him taking over and how long it would be for, all the terms. So it looked from yesterday really that he was starting to emerge as a favourite. The bookmakers' odds fell down, and here we are.
And what's likely to happen to the likes of Appleton and the backroom staff? Are they going to stay on? Will they go? Will they work alongside Roy Hodgson?
Well, firstly, I should say that Michael Appleton will take charge of tomorrow's game. That was always the plan anyway. He'll be assisted by Keith Downing and Dean Kiley. Now, the club told me today that they're basically extending the invite for all three coaches to stay on. I expect them to meet Roy next week to discuss that. I honestly can't see any of them leaving, if I'm honest. I think Michael Appleton's got an absolutely fantastic opportunity to be number two under a coach who has travelled the world. He's worked in more countries than some managers have had clubs. He's multilingual. He's a talented coach. For all his faults at Liverpool, he's very respected, and he's only got an 18-month contract at the moment. So the only thing that might hinder that is if Roy has a particular number two already in mind. I suspect that might not be the case because we've not heard about it yet. But we shall see. There's certainly scope for Michael Appleton to learn a lot from Roy should he decide to stay.
Okay, and when do we expect Roy Hodgson to take over officially?
Well, he'll take over sometime next week. The players generally have Monday off. Whether that will be the case this Monday, I don't know. They do, of course, have an extra day to prepare for the Wolves game, so theoretically they would have Monday and Tuesday off under the old regime, as it were, of when Roberto Di Matteo was manager. Whether they'll continue that, I don't know. But it's suffice to say that his first week in business will be next week, and like Tony Mowbray, his first match will be against Wolves.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge game for him. Just moving along to how his working relationship will be with Dan Ashworth. Can you give us a bit of insight into that?
Well, obviously that's a key prerequisite of the job for anyone who was taken over. There's a bit of a misnomer that Dan's sort of a boss, if you like, of the head coach. That isn't actually the case. They work in tandem. They bounce off each other in many ways. Dan's role is very much administrative. He deals with the side of the job that a manager would normally get a little bit bogged down with, the sort of paperwork, the pursuit of players. He'll take on a lot of the scouting responsibilities, and Roy would have bought into that. He's worked with that system abroad before. He worked with it at Inter Milan, and although he did try to anglicise things a little bit at Inter, he will be familiar with how Albion want to do business, and I can't see it being a problem. The very fact that he's agreed to it indicates that he's more than willing to buy into it.
And just lastly, Chris, who do you think out of those two will take the more senior role, or is it going to be an equal partnership?
Yeah, like I said, there's going to be an equality there between us. They're going to be of equal status. I can't really, it's difficult to imagine Dan Ashworth being dictating anything to a man 20 years his senior. But Roy's been around. He knows the footballing scene extensively. He's managed all over in Scandinavia, in Central Europe, in Italy. At the highest levels in England, and he will have a good contact book. He will compliment Dan, and I suspect Dan will compliment him as well. It's actually a very good arrangement when you think of it like that. They're both good footballing people who know the circuit well, and they know that the limitations of their budget, and so it should be a good link.
Okay, Chris, well, thanks for joining us today. We'll have more information and news on the new appointment in the coming days.
Thank you.